Loss of a medical license. A devastating blow on a typical August day in 1995, a letter arrived that would shatter the life of a dedicated doctor. The words on the page were chilling. Your medical license is hereby revoked. For this doctor, it meant the abrupt end of a career built on years of helping others. The Tennessee Board of Medical Examiners had found this doctor guilty of violating the Medical Practice Act, despite having no concrete evidence of patient harm. The decision felt unjust and cruel, made by new board members with no experience in chronic pain or addiction, fields this doctor had spent years working in. This doctor's story is one of betrayal and frustration. The board didn't just revoke a license, they took away a person's identity and livelihood. The doctor had no history of malpractice, yet the power of the board's decision was absolute. It was a stark reminder of how the legal system can sometimes fail those who follow its rules. The aftermath was swift. Without a job or income, the doctor's life spiraled into uncertainty, but then an unexpected opportunity arrived. Jerry Lee Lewis, the legendary musician, needed someone to manage his travel and personal needs. Though not a full-time job, it provided some stability and kept the doctor connected to the medical world. For 4 years, the doctor traveled with Jerry Lee, gaining valuable experience and keeping hope alive. However, the journey wasn't easy. After Jerry Lee's passing, the doctor faced another challenge, appealing the license revocation. Initially, the idea seemed futile. Yet with support from patients, families, and fellow doctors, the doctor decided to fight. The first step was a mandatory assessment for a condition known as codependency, something the doctor had never considered before. The assessment revealed tendencies that needed addressing, leading to coursework and therapy. It was a hard pill to swallow, acknowledging personal struggles while dedicating a life to helping others, but this was just the beginning. The road to reinstatement was fraught with challenges, including dealing with a former prosecutor turned advocate for the board. Despite setbacks, the doctor persevered. With newfound understanding of personal issues and professional guidance, a new application was submitted, yet the board's response was unyielding. After a decade-long battle, it seemed like the end was near, but the doctor refused to give up. A contested case hearing became the last hope, even though the financial toll was mounting. Throughout this ordeal, the doctor gained insights into treating chronic pain, particularly through methods like nerve blockage. However, without a license, these skills remained unused, trapped behind the barriers of malpractice insurance and hospital admissions. This story is not just about one doctor's struggle, it reflects broader issues in the medical field and the justice system. It highlights how the loss of a license can be devastating, affecting not just the individual but their family and community. It also shows the importance of support, understanding, and the relentless pursuit of justice, even in the face of overwhelming odds. After losing my medical license, I found myself lost, wondering what could have been. I often thought about the unique chance I had to treat Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. It felt surreal, like being in a dream. But that dream ended abruptly, and I was left with questions and regrets. Years went by, and I rarely spoke about those days. But one day, while resting, my friend Fred called. He offered me a job at FedEx, which felt like a miracle. It wasn't in the medical field, but it kept my skills sharp. I worked as a medical advisor, reviewing treatments to ensure they followed company rules. It was different from being a doctor, but it kept me connected to medicine. 6 years passed and FedEx changed things. They outsourced my job and I found myself without a position in the medical field again. It was a hard blow. I often thought about my past and wondered how things could have been different if I had listened more to other doctors. They had told me to treat every patient the same, not just based on their specific situation, but I knew that wasn't right. Every person is unique, and medicine should reflect that. Dr. Dan Brookoff, a friend from my past, helped me see things differently. He reminded me that being a doctor is about more than just following rules. It's about caring for your patients and helping them live their best lives. Elvis was an extraordinary person with an extraordinary life, and he needed a doctor who could understand that. Those words from Dr. Brookoff meant a lot to me. They helped me find peace with my past. I realized I should focus on the good times, like being part of Elvis's final performances, rather than what could have been. Those moments were precious, filled with music, passion, and love. Elvis's energy on stage was unforgettable, and I felt lucky to be a part of it. But life took another turn in 2009 when news broke about another famous singer's death, Michael Jackson. It was hard to believe, as it felt like just a few decades since Elvis passed away. The world was different then. News spread much faster thanks to the internet and TV. People compared the two deaths, which was interesting but also sad. Both Elvis and Michael were legends in their own right, and their lives ended under similar circumstances, both involving medication. I spoke to Dr. Kevin Marijan, who had worked with me at the Elvis Trauma Center. He reminded me that each case is unique, and comparing Michael Jackson's death to Elvis's was not fair. The details were different, and the circumstances surrounding each death were complex. The official report said Michael Jackson died from an overdose of propofol, a drug used to help people sleep. Other drugs were found in his system too. It seemed he had been trying to manage his insomnia with medication, but things went wrong. Dr. Murray, who was taking care of Jackson, said he tried to help by giving him different combinations of drugs to sleep. But when he stepped out for a short time, Jackson didn't wake up. The investigation into Jackson's death was thorough, with both the LAPD and the district attorney's office looking into everything. They found that Jackson had been seeing Dr. Murray for insomnia for a while. Dr. Murray had tried to reduce the medication to prevent addiction, but it wasn't enough. The FDA was also looking into the matter, wanting to understand everything that happened. As I reflected on these events, I realized how much the world had changed since Elvis's time. News spread faster now, and people had more ways to share their thoughts. The media had a field day comparing the two deaths, but each case was unique. It was a tough time, but it also made me think about the importance of understanding each situation fully before making judgments. In the end, I learned to focus on the positive moments, like being part of Elvis's final performances. Those memories were what truly mattered. Propofol is a medicine used to put people to sleep during surgeries. It's very powerful and must be used carefully in hospitals by trained professionals. The problem started when a famous doctor, Dr. Murray, used it on Elvis without being a trained anesthesiologist. This raised concerns because propofol can be dangerous if not used right. It can slow down breathing and lower blood pressure, even causing the brain to stop working if too much is given. Why was Dr. Murray in trouble? People started questioning Dr. Murray because he was a heart doctor, not an expert in putting people to sleep during surgeries. When it became known he used propofol on Elvis, doubts grew. Some even thought he might be in trouble with the law for possibly causing Elvis's death. Dr. Marijan, another doctor, explained how dangerous propofol can be. Even small amounts can make breathing difficult and blood pressure drop. In large enough doses, it can shut down the brain. Dr. Marijan talked about better ways to help people sleep, like using different medicines that are safer than propofol. One such medicine is Xyrem. It helps people sleep for a few hours, after which they wake up naturally. People needing more sleep can take it again later. Dr. Marijan noted that many people struggle with insomnia, not just famous singers. It can affect anyone working late shifts or dealing with stress. The reason for insomnia can be complex and isn't always clear. When Elvis's autopsy results were shared, some believed he died from taking too many medicines. However, Dr. Marijan explained that just having high levels of drugs doesn't mean someone overdosed. Dr. Marijan used alcohol and Valium as examples to clarify how different drugs work separately. Alcohol affects the brain by changing how chloride moves in brain cells, while Valium works through specific receptors. Dr. Marijan explained that over time, people can become less responsive to medicines, needing higher doses or different drugs to get the same effect. This is why Dr. Murray gave Elvis small amounts of various drugs. His body had become less responsive to them. Throughout the discussion, it became clear that Elvis's situation was complex. His use of various medicines was a result of his unique health challenges and the limitations of medical understanding at the time. It highlighted the importance of proper medical care, understanding drug interactions, and the need for specialists when dealing with complex cases like Elvis's insomnia and other health issues. In conclusion, while propofol is a powerful tool in medicine, its misuse can lead to serious consequences. Understanding the nuances of different drugs, their effects, and how they interact is crucial for safe treatment. Elvis's story serves as a reminder of the complexities of treating unique medical cases and the need for careful, informed medical decisions.